Hi Rob, thank you very much, thank you. Hello everybody, thank you for joining me for Mindful Yoga, a lovely blissful hour. If you're not able to make it in person, this is a great way to get a mindful practice in the middle of the day and from the comfort of your own home. So what are you going to need today? Well, maybe a yoga block, or if you haven't got a yoga block, then maybe a blanket folded into four and a cushion if you wish to. Maybe also lots of layers because it's a bit chilly today. So make sure you've got layers on, a yoga block or cushion if you don't have a yoga block or cushion, and some water to stay hydrated. Now we're going to start this practice today. I'm going to sit on this block, so a cushion if you can. We're going to do a nice, what we call spine mobilizer. So from here, we're going to keep one leg straight just for now, and I'm going to bend my left knee. Okay, so very gently I bend my left knee, and I want you to see if you can bring the top of the left foot as close to that left buttock as you can. So your left toes are as close to your left buttock as they can be. You're resting your foot, the top of your left foot, on the floor with the left toes as close to the left buttock as is comfortable. And then we're going to take this right leg, bend it gently, and bring the sole of the right foot to rest on the left inner thigh. And what happens when you sit on a block or cushion is it just gives you a little bit more height and can be more stabilizing for your sitting bones, what we call our buttocks, our sitting bones. So if you need to sit on a cushion, that's absolutely fine. So just to remind you, we're bending both knees, but with our left foot as best we can without straining, bringing the toes of the left foot as close to the left buttock as you can. So resting on the front left foot, the right knee is bent, and the sole of the right foot resting on the inner left calf. And that's quite a strong stretch in itself. We can maybe feel this on the right inner and outer thigh, and both knees as well. So we're going to sit tall, and that's why, again, I suggested a block or a cushion to sit on, just to keep the sitting bones anchored down and level. And then we're going to twist. So I'm going to take this right hand to the left knee. My left hand comes behind me, making a tripod with the fingers. So I'll just say that again. My right hand goes to my left knee, and my left hand behind to make like a tripod. And I'm going to look somewhere over this left shoulder. So I'm going to inhale to lengthen, exhale and look somewhere over that left shoulder. And I'd like you to hold this stretch with me if you can for up to 5 breaths. Now, just in case you're not sure what I'm doing behind, I'm going to sit sideways, the same pose, so you can see where I place the hands. So right hand goes to the left knee, rests there. Left hand goes behind, forms a tripod, or maybe you can have the left hand flat, and looking somewhere over this left shoulder gently, and taking 4 more deep breaths, okay? Now remember, yogis, whenever we twist, we always twist from here, our belly, then the chest area, and finally the throat. So carefully, when you twist, think about twisting from belly, chest, and finally the throat, okay? Looking somewhere over the left shoulder. And again, let's hold that for 3 deep breaths. By sitting on a block or a bolster or cushion, it allows us again to help keep the spine tall. And because this is a mindful practice, listening to the body and making sure you don't overstretch or strain. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale and come back to the center, resting both hands gently on your thighs. Okay, now from there, we're going into a side bend, so staying exactly where you are, yogis. And because we're moving to our left, we're going to stretch to our left. So I take my right hand down on the floor now, in line with the right knee, but away from it, and raising that left arm and coming over into a side bend. So I'm now stretching my left intercostal muscles and the ribs, looking up towards the inner left elbow if you can, or looking forwards if it's more comfortable for your neck. And again, we hold for 4 breaths. Aim to keep both elbows as straight as you can, This top hand, the left hand, the palm is facing down, and really breathing deeply into those side ribs. Remember, if looking up feels too strong, look forwards to relax the neck. I'm going to breathe in and use the exhalation to release and relax. Now we're going to stretch a little further. So the next stretch, we're going to carefully take both hands out to the side by our knees and come up carefully onto the knees as best you can, and place the right hand again on the floor by the right knee, away from the knee, and raise the left arm now, come into an even deeper stretch. Keep the front of the body open and keep lifting the hips up and ahead. That's it. And hold for 3 breaths, looking up or again looking forwards. And this is a great opening for our hips, quite a deep stretch here. Remember to breathe. Let's take a breath in together. And exhale, calming down. Now, just take a lot of care as you stretch those legs ahead of you. Give them a little shake. And we're going to just mobilize the spine now on the opposite side. Remember to do as much as little as you can on the other side. And again, I'll be sitting on the block for this yoga, so carefully. Bending my right knee now and bringing the sole of the left foot to rest on the inner right thigh. We simply switch sides. So if your right foot is out here, try not to tug it and strain it by bringing it in. The main thing is that the front of the foot is resting on the floor and you're bringing those toes, those right toes, as close to the right buttock as you can, but without causing yourself any strain or pain. This is a mindful practice, so it's important if something feels really strong or there's any discomfort, feel free to come out of the pose or simply skip it. So I've got the sole of the left foot resting on the inner right thigh now, yogis. My left knee is bent and we're going to stretch now to the right. So first of all, we've done the left, we're going to stretch now to the right and twist to the right. So take the left hand to the right knee, the right arm goes behind you, and very gently again, think about where your twist comes from. Belly, chest, and finally the throat. And very gently looking over that right shoulder. Aim to hold that for 4 more deep breaths if you can. Notice as you twist that it may feel easier on this side, yogis, or it may feel harder, so don't overstretch. Take your time with each breath, there is no rush. As you exhale, come back to the center and relax. Now I'm going to rest that left hand by the left knee, just away from it, so I can raise the right arm and come over into my side bend again. I've got the option to look up towards the see-through right elbow or look forwards. And again, yogis, aim to hold that for another 3 to 4 deep breaths. Guiding the breath into our side ribs as we stretch gently into the right side now and come over into a right side bend. I'm going to breathe in, exhale to release and relax. Now, this is where we need to take care, both hands out to the side away from the knees and gently coming up onto the knees, keeping the knees where they are. We take that left hand away from the left knee again, out to the side, raising the right arm carefully, and again coming into a deep, really deep side bend. Now, keep the knees where they are, but lift the hips, keep the hips open, and again, either looking up towards that inner elbow or forwards if your neck prefers. Hold for 3 breaths. And release on the exhale. Sit back on your block or cushion. Well done, yogis, and relax. And carefully now stretch out those legs. Take your time. Give them a little shake. Well done. And we call that the spine mobilizer because we're twisting and side bending and then twisting again. So the spine gets this lovely mobilization. It's strong though, so take a resting breath, sit back, give the legs a shake, and well done. Okay, now we're going to do a very slow sun salute today, and we're going to add some extra poses. Because it's cold and a little bit damp outside, it's quite nice on these colder, grayer days to invigorate the body and generate heat. However, this is a mindful practice, so remember we're going to go at a slower pace, and just to think about what we're doing as well as be aware of physical sensations as you're doing them. Because different poses can elicit different sensations and responses in our bodies. And we've got the time to mindfully listen, pause, and study those responses as best we can. So join me now, yogis, coming up to standing. If you've got a block or cushion, take that off, put that to one side. Do remember to stay hydrated. Now, it's entirely up to you. You can take off your socks if you wish to. Certainly, our yoga is better performed with bare feet, but only if you wish to. And remember keeping your layers on all the while until you get warm enough to take them off. Well, as you can see, I've got a couple of mats here, one on top of the other. There is a little bit of kneeling, so pad up underneath the knees if you need to. Let's come to the top of our mat. And I'll just bring those together, feet together, and the palms come together. We roll the shoulders back and look forwards. Take a deep breath in and out here with me. Slowly and gently we bend the knees and we inhale and come up and gently back as if we could salute the sun. We're going to exhale with bent knees if we need to and swan dive down. And I want you to rest your hands just below your knees if you can, on your shins. Do remember to keep the knees bent if you need to. From there, we slide the hands all the way down toward the ankle if you can. And even here, yogis, do keep the knees bent. If you can bring the fingertips in line with the toes, even better. But if you can't, leave them on the shins. Bending the knees, remember. We're going to lift the head and look along the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together here, and create a hammock-like shape with our spine. So the back almost creating a hammock-like shape. Now we're going to inhale, and we're going to take that left leg back and the right leg together, and come into either a full plank if you can. If that's too strong, place the knees on the floor, cross the ankles over, and just gently place a little bit more weight into the wrists and hands. Open the fingers and distribute the weight evenly across your hands here. Engage the tummy muscles, and this is a half plank. So if this plank is too strong and feels much too strong today, then why not bend the knees, cross the ankles, and you'll still be producing lots of lovely upper back strength and, of course, upper body strength. Now we're going to very carefully come down onto knees, chest, and finally the chin. So we're on the front of the body, and we're going to practice our Cobra. Let's first of all, yogis here, roll the right shoulder back and down several times. And roll the right shoulder forwards. Do the same with the left. Up, back and down. Excuse me. Twice and forward, up, back and down. Excuse me, yogis, sorry. And then we slide the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows close. Doesn't matter how far you come up, I just want you to have a go. Keep the elbows close to the body, press the palms down, press the front of the feet and the front of the legs into the floor, and as you breathe in, coming up. Now, whether you're here or here in full Cobra, it doesn't matter. Make sure you're comfortable, your elbows close to your body, and our head resembles the Cobra hood, looking up, or if we're here, again, rolling the shoulders down and appreciating pushing front of the legs into the floor. We're going to exhale, push back, and then gently come onto all fours. opening the fingers, tucking the toes under, and we're now going to go into our first inversion, our downward dog pose, for 5 deep breaths. So very gently, think about this, yogis. If you don't want to stay for the full 5 breaths, feel free to just stay for 1 or 2, and then come back down on all fours if you need to. Take a moment to spread the weight through the fingers, tucking the toes under, our knees apart. Breathing in, we come up. Knees and feet apart. And looking towards our upper thighs, we're going to walk the dog. Let's pad one heel back as we inhale. Let's pad the opposite heel back as we exhale. Arms are strong. We're gazing towards our upper thighs. Breathing in. Breathing out. That's it. Walking the dog. Aim for 1 or 2 more deep breaths here, yogis. Go gently and take your time. There's no rush. That's it. And then slowly come to stillness and carefully bring the right foot forwards, followed by the left. And again, bend the knees if you need to. Rest them on the shin if you need to, or fingers aligned with the toes. Lift the head and again create that hammock shape with your back. Legs are either straight or slightly bent, whichever feels more comfortable for the spine. Engage the tummy muscles. Let's inhale now together. Come up slowly, up and gently back. Exhale, palms together at the chest, where we relax, having completed 1 full round of our sun salute. Well done, yogis. Now we're going to do 1 more round, just as slowly. Remember, I'm going to give you alternatives, so if you find some of the poses too strong, I'll always pop a gentler version in there, okay? So here we go. We're going to do our power flow pose once more. And here we go. Join me if you can. This time I'm going to face the opposite way, but again, so that you can see. So palms come together. Roll the shoulders back and gaze ahead. Take a breath in and out here. Bending the knees, come up and gently back. Inhaling as you do so. Exhale, folding forwards. Now either the hands rest just below the knees or further down. Fingertips in line with the toes. Lift the chin. And again, create that hammock-like shape in your back as you breathe in. Breathing out. Look towards your knees. Now, either full plank, left leg back, right leg back, and again, pulling the tummy muscles in that plank position. If that's too strong, carefully take the knees down, cross the ankles over the other way, and again, place a little more weight into the hands and arms. Elbows and arms are nice and straight and strong. Engage the tummy muscles, hold and breathe. Again, this will still increase your upper body strength and strengthen the wrists. A full plank if you can, but again, that's very strong. So only doing that if you know your back is capable of holding that. Here we go. We come down on our knees, chest, and finally chin. And let's practice this time a little opening for the shoulders. So with the chin square to the mat, let's interlace the fingers behind us, bringing the palms together if you can. Roll the shoulders back. Press the front of your feet into the floor and engage your thighs into the mat as well, yogis. Inhale, raise the arms behind you, looking forwards and squeezing the shoulder blades together as you gaze ahead. A lovely opening for the shoulders. Lift a little higher if you can, as if someone were pulling your arms down towards your feet. Shoulder blades coming together. Take a breath in. Deep breath out here. Inhale again. Exhale, release, drop those arms. And just turn your head to one side for a moment. Make a pillow if you prefer with your hands. Big toes touching. Let the heels fall out. And let your whole body have a moment to breathe. Enjoy 2 more slow, restful breaths here, yogis. It's so important just to stop and be mindful of what you're doing and what you're experiencing throughout the practice, rather than just moving from shape to shape. Take a moment, be mindful, and check in with those physical sensations as you rest the front of your body. Slowly now, let's come back onto all fours when you're ready. And we'll go into our second downward dog of the practice. So it's worth taking a moment to tuck the toes under, to push the heels or the buttocks back to the heels, spread the weight across the hands. And when you're ready, use the next inhalation to come up. Separate your knees and feet, arms are strong, and let's walk the dog. Adding one heel back on the inhale, adding the opposite heel down on the exhale. Keep going. We breathe in, we breathe out. Walking the dog by padding one heel back on the inhale and the opposite heel back and down on the exhale. Gaze towards your thighs, keep your arms strong and keep the breath relaxed. That's it, yogis, you're doing well. Now, if it's comfortable, stay for another 2 deep breaths in and out. The longer you stay in your poses, the deeper the benefits, but only if that's comfortable. After the next exhale, we're going to bring that left leg forward, the right foot forward, both feet together, and fold down. Bend those knees if you need to. And then looking forwards, fingers in alignment with the toes, again, making this hammock-like shape with our backs. We then engage the tummy muscles, bend the knees. Inhale, come up and gently back, salute your sun. And use the exhalation to bring the hands back to the prayer position where we began. Relax here. And release the hands and shake it out. Well done, yogis. That was 2 quite strong poses with back bends as well, and lots of downward dogs. So grab a drink if you need to, whether that's water or juice. And we're going to carry on. Now, the next pose that we're going to do is called Excellent Warrior Flow. It's a really nice way to work the body from one warrior position into a side bend and then into a back bend. So once you've had a drink, let's go. We're going to go wide with our legs for this pose, yogis. Again, let's just check in with our feet. Let's lift the toes if we can and fan them apart. Again, just do that once more, lift the toes, give them a wiggle and a sense of fanning them apart. I almost say they're almost greedy for a little bit of space between one another. Toes, ankles, both facing forwards. So you've gone as wide as your hips will allow you this afternoon, making sure you're not hurting yourself. We'll turn the left foot out 90 degrees, but we'll keep the right foot facing forwards for now. We're going to very carefully bend this front left knee, and I want you to take a moment to track it so it's moving in the left, in the direction forwards and to the left. Perhaps checking that you can also just see the top of the first and the second toe. So when you're happy with the position of your legs, your feet, raise your arms to shoulder height and have a quick look. Make sure both are in line with the shoulders, particularly the back one. You won't be able to see it in a moment. So getting this alignment correct at the beginning is going to be safe and key for your pose. And you're going to enjoy the pose more and get more out of it. Well, then we're going to focus on that long finger of the left hand, the middle finger. That's our point of focus here, yogis. So let's gaze towards it for 4 breaths. Every now and then, have a quick look at the front knee. And again, make sure you can see the tops of the first 2 toes of your left foot. Hold and breathe. Now, when you're ready, you're going to inhale Turn the palm of the left hand up and rest it on the left thigh. If you want to work harder now, I'll show you. Rest the right hand on the right hip. And instead of resting this left hand on the left thigh, you can always slide it down towards the ankle for a deeper stretch if you wish to. So either resting it here on the thigh with the palm up, or sliding the hand down towards the ankle, whichever feels more comfortable. And if you want to go deeper, it's wise to do that. Now let's sweep this right arm behind us. It hangs like a heavy rope in front of us. We're going to sweep it back, pin it towards the ear, and then gaze towards the ceiling if you can. The main aim here is to keep the front of the body as open as you can. So remember, here is good, and I'm lengthening and stretching into the right side, or coming further down, but keeping the front of the body open. Hold and breathe for 2 breaths. Now we come out of the pose gently and rest the right hand on the back of the right thigh. We're going to turn our hips and shoulders to the left, turning the back foot in slightly so our hips and shoulders are facing the left leg. And with your left hand, scooping it upwards so you're gazing towards the inner left palm. And the right foot is turned out slightly, right hand on the back of the right thigh, coming up and back to create this beautiful back bend, stretching into the left side of your chest. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. We're going to inhale again, and we're going to exhale and release that arm. Turn both feet in and just zigzag walk back to Tadasana and take a resting breath there. Notice if the right side of the chest feels a little longer and more open now. Great. And relax, yogis. We're going to do the same pose, those 3 poses on the right now. So first pose, warrior 2. Go wide if you can. Again, make sure that the toes and ankles are facing forwards. Turning your right foot out and leaving your left foot facing forwards. Take a little bit of time to bend this front right knee, again, so that you can see the tops of the first 2 toes. Take your arms to shoulder height. Again, a quick look. Do make sure they're both level and just hold that pose for 5 deep breaths. We gaze towards the long finger on the right hand, softly gazing towards the long finger on the right hand. Relax the shoulders, and as you gaze softly towards the middle finger of the right hand, relax the jaw and eyes also as best you can, so that if you are holding tension there, you're aiming to soften it as best you can now. Remember the arm that you can't see. Now, as you next exhale, release and relax the arms by your sides. That's right. And keeping this front knee bent, either resting the right forearm with the palm uppermost on the right thigh, or for that deeper stretch, if you wish to go deeper, yogis, sliding the hand down towards the ankle. And again, being mindful this is a really deep stretch, so only doing that if your back feels comfortable. Raise the left arm, pin it towards the left ear, that lovely line of energy running from the left heel all the way up to these left fingertips. Turning, looking towards ceiling, keeping the front of the body open, or gazing ahead if it's more comfortable for the spine. Let's hold for 3 more deep breaths. Remember, this is the gentler version, resting on the right thigh if easier, and still being aware of this deep, deep stretch that we're receiving in the right and the left side. That's it. 1 more full breath in and out, breathing into the left side of your body, particularly the left side ribs. Inhale, exhale to come up carefully, release the arms, and place the left hand on the left thigh, We're going to have to turn our hips inwards, which means turning that left foot in as well. We're now facing the right leg, shoulders, hips square, and bend that front knee again. Make sure you can still see the tops of your toes. Use the right hand to scoop the pose up. Offer the pose up to whomever you wish to. Gazing towards the right inner palm. Hold for 3, maybe 4 deep breaths if you can. And you're sliding that hand, that left hand, down the back of the knee to create as deep a bend as you wish to go. Being mindful of the back of the neck and also low back vulnerabilities, so go easy here. And again, receiving a beautiful stretch in the right side of your chest, hip, waist. One more full breath in and out here, yogis. We're going to breathe in together. Exhale to release. Turn both feet in, facing forward, zigzag walk or jump in, and shake it out briefly. And then come to stillness again with the feet apart, palms facing forwards. Do roll your shoulders back several times and standing in Tadasana. Again, perhaps being aware of the left side of the body now feeling just as open as the right. Right and left sides having been harmonized and equalized. Just enjoy several deep breaths as the right and the left side enjoy catching up with one another. Breathing in, release the hands and relax. Shake it out, yogis, grab your drinks and we'll move on. Okay, so cat is in, there we are. Now we're going to have a little go at a shoulder opener, a really nice shoulder opener. So if you're tight in your shoulders, this will open your shoulders, your hips, it'll strengthen the upper body and tone the legs. What's not to like about this pose? And it's known as triangle, but with a shoulder opening or shoulder release triangle. So it's going to be one of a few more poses that we'll do standing. After this, we're going to try a new pose called Twisty Tree, where we aim to hold tree, but side bend and twist as well. So that's a bit of fun coming later. But for now, if comfortable, you've had a drink, take your feet double to hip width apart. So bearing in mind our hips aren't particularly wide, we often think they are, and then go double to hip wide again. Toes and ankles are both facing forwards. We're going to turn the right foot out 90 degrees, and we're going to leave that left foot facing forwards. Okay, make sure again that your hips feel comfortable, that you're not going too wide. Of course, you can go a bit wider, but just be mindful of what's going on in your pelvis and hips. Take your arms to shoulder height. Check that they're both level with your shoulders to begin with, and when you're happy that they are, we'll take a breath in together. We're going to tip to the right, and we're going to take the right hand just below the right knee, or just above the right knee, but not pressing directly into the knee itself. Now with this top arm, very gently, we're going to wrap it around the back of the waist and making sure that that hand is facing out, either holding onto the front knee, which can be bent, or just resting it on the back of the waist if that's easier. So here we are, we're in our shoulder triangle. We're now going to roll the top shoulder back a few times, encourage it to stay as open as it can, and either looking up toward the ceiling to further keep the front of the body open, or simply gaze ahead. Now I'm going to have a little micro bend in my front knee, that helps my back, but your legs can be straight. Just make sure you're not locking that front knee if your leg is straight. Back leg always straight. And I'm going to look forwards, I prefer that for my neck. Remember, you can look up or simply gaze ahead. Let's hold that for 3 more deep breaths. Our main aim is to keep the front of the body again as open as we can. And if you want to work deeper, sliding the hand further down to the ankle if you can. So one more full breath in and out together. Now we've opened that top shoulder, we're going to unravel the top arm and take it skywards, palm facing forwards. and gaze up towards that hand for 3 breaths. Hello, cat. Or simply looking forwards. And this may feel easier now that we've opened that top shoulder. So we're still in triangle. Maybe we want to go a bit deeper, but the raised arm facing forwards. That's it. Enjoy the fact that this opens and energizes our body. Hold for another deep breath in and out if you can. Now, to come out of it carefully and safely, bend your front knee, engage your tummy muscles, and rise up slowly. And release and relax the arms as you exhale. Well done, yogis. Walk the feet in, have a little shake out, roll the shoulders back. Really deep pose, and often we can feel that here in the waist and the front of the body. So remember, less is more. There's an appropriate edge I think we can all go to, and what's key is not going over that edge too much. Just being mindful again of how much you want to go into the pose and how deeply. But just being extra careful if you've got low back injuries or any sort of injury you're recovering from. Well, let's do the same on the left now. So let's go wide. Toes and ankles facing forwards. Turning the left foot out 90 degrees. Right foot now is going to face forwards and making sure you're no wider than you were on the other side, keeping the legs about similar distance if you can. So arms come to shoulder height. Again, let's just check that they're both level. Okay, and when you're happy that they are, let's take a breath in. Reaching out to the left arm just below or above that left knee. Remember not to press directly into it. Just rest the right hand for now on the right hip. Let's slide the hand down a little further if we wish to, or keep it where it is. And then with this top arm, the right arm, it comes wraps around the back of our waist. There we go. And now we're going to engage on rolling the shoulder back a little bit and keeping the top shoulder as open as we can. We've got the option to look up or simply look forwards. And again, our main aim is to breathe deeply into the pose, not strain, and keep the front of the body as open as we can. Now, I'm just going to take this hand and rest it on my front thigh. And again, 3 deep breaths. Do keep a micro bend in the front knee if that helps your low back. Try not to lock the front knee. Breathe deeply into those legs. They're holding you up, yogis. Aim for another deep breath in and out if you can, either looking up or looking forwards or down if you prefer. Now we're going to release that right arm skywards. Check that we're not throwing it behind us, the right palm facing forwards, either again looking up or looking forwards. Again, holding for 3 slow breaths if you can. And do put a micro bend in the front knee, particularly if you've got vulnerabilities in your back, yogis. Make sure you're not straining your back at all. And looking forwards, again, may feel better than looking up, but it's always your choice. Now, to come out of it safely, let's bend the front knee. Inhale and raise the arms slowly. Exhale to release the arms. Turn the left foot in, walk, step, or jump, or zigzag the feet in, and shake it out. But let's return now to Tadasana, mountain pose. Turning the palms forwards, rolling those shoulders back. Hopefully they're feeling that little bit more open now. And as you stand and breathe, just quietly taking a few deep breaths in our mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a moment to observe the left and the right sides of your body. Hopefully feeling more energized, but also more harmony and balance throughout the left and right sides of your body. After all, we balance those dualities within, but also out. So whole body, ideally now feeling that a little more balanced. And you may notice space, a sense that you've created space here in your ribs and upper body. Let's shake it out, yogis, one more time. We're now going to come into 3 versions or 3 steps of what we call Twisty Triangle. So this can be done by a wall or use the back of a heavy chair. But today we're going to try and use our body to balance. We know balance is tricky, and that's why we're going to go really slowly and mindfully and take our time with what we call the Twisty Tree. So with our feet apart, let's first of all take the weight onto the right leg, taking and stacking all of your weight onto your right leg so that you come up onto the ball of the left foot. Now, just to start with, just take your hands to your hips and simply balance that left foot on top of the right. So you're going to feel, physically, you can feel one leg supporting the other. Gaze ahead and take a few deep breaths here. If you wobble so much that you feel you need to come out of it, simply come back to mountain pose. Centralize yourself and then switch sides. Now, resting the right foot on top of the left, stacking all the weight onto the left leg. Gazing ahead, and again taking a few deep breaths here if you can. When you start to wobble or get tired, you come back to mountain to centralize yourself and recenter and relax. Okay, so we go back to the first leg. Stack the weight into the right leg again when you're ready. And with the left knee bent, I'm going to bring the sole of the left foot to the inner right calf. Now what's important is I slide it down, not pushing into the knee, just below the knee. And this left knee is nice and open. I can feel that opening here in my hips already. Okay. Now with our hands, we bend our elbows and bring the thumb and the index fingers together. These are going to be our branches for the next few minutes. So elbows soft at shoulder height, thumb and index finger touching. Imagine these are your branches. Hold as you gaze ahead for 1 or 2 breaths. Keep breathing all the energy downwards. And if you wobble, don't matter. Just come back, centralizing yourself, re-establishing both feet in Tadasana. And then we'll switch sides. So we stack the weight now into the left leg. We come up onto the ball of the right foot. We bend that right knee. We bring the sole of the foot, the right foot, just below the left knee. And again, this may take time, so don't worry, we have plenty of time. Thumb and index finger touching. And again, soft elbows. These are our branches, holding them up to facilitate a lovely sense of spaciousness and openness in the chest. Gaze ahead and hold for several breaths. Aiming to keep that right knee as open as you can. Left leg is strong and rooted into the floor. Don't forget to breathe. And release from your tree. Come back to Tadasana. Maybe shake it out, relax the legs and hands. We're going to try that again, yogis, but this time, going back to the right leg, which was the leg we started on, the first leg, again coming up onto the ball of the left foot. Deliberately want to stack the weight into the right leg. I'm going to try that pose once more. Again, index fingers and thumbs coming together, elbows bent. But this time, yogis, I'm going to come over to my left, so I get a little stretch there. Just bringing my branches over to the left as I hold and breathe. Gazing ahead, woo, and then coming back. And then we're going to try and twist first to the right, which is much more open because my bent knee is on the left. And then twisting to the left, which feels a little more restrictive because of that knee bend. And again, inhale, aim to twist. If you come out of it, doesn't matter, have another go. Twisting from side to side slowly. Using the waist muscles and the oblique muscles, our side abdominals, and release. And we try the other side. There's a lot of weight going into one side and a lot of energy and strength, so aim to keep your breath fluid and even and relaxed. So left leg is strong. I'm going to bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot, resting on the inner left calf. There we go. Lovely stretch, come back into my branches, thumb and index finger touching. And this time I'm going to stretch over into a side bend to my right, looking forwards and holding that. Lovely chance to go back into those side ribs, moving to the right and side bending gently to the right. And back we come. Let's try and twist to the right again. Here we go, wobbling is normal. Breathing in as we twist to the right. Come back, woo! Inhale, twist to the left, keep the elbows soft. And back. Inhale again to the right. And back, well done. Inhale to your left. Use your oblique muscles, your side muscles. And back. And if you can, hold for another breath in. And release. Whew. Shake it out. That's Twisty Tree. Wow, well done if you were able to do one part or all of that. I appreciate how strong that is. Not only are we wobbling in the pose, we're trying to side bend and twist, and all the while maintaining the balance. So take a few deep breaths, come back to Tadasana, and just notice any physical sensations as you breathe, yogis. That's it. Well done. Nicely done. Okay, well, we're going to come down because I appreciate that from that, our legs may be tired. So we've got about 10 minutes. We're going to do one more pose and go into relaxation. So let's come down. And we're going to have a go at a nice forward bend now. So sitting with our legs extended, let's peel away the flesh from the buttocks, lifting the buttocks, peeling away. We're going to flex the toes towards us and push our heels away. And this is a 3-part breathing exercise, a little bit like our 3-part twisty triangle. And we're going to go into it gently for a few minutes. We're going to start by flexing the toes, legs together, and we inhale and bring the palms facing, lengthening up as we look forwards. We're going to exhale and come as far forwards as we can, thinking about the crown of the head coming towards the toes, resting the hands on the fronts of the legs or at the sides, crown of the head coming forwards rather than down. We're then going to inhale, raise the arms, take them behind us with the fingers facing in or out behind our hips, raise our hips and press our feet down. Don't run the risk of throwing your head back. Try and just look towards the ceiling, but engage a little tension in the neck and chin, and exhale, coming down. And that is the 3 parts. We're going to try that again. So breathing in, raising the arms. We can sit tall and lengthen upwards. Exhale, we come forwards. We're looking down, lengthening from the crown of the head. Inhale, coming up, looking forwards. Exhale, hands go behind us, thumbs facing in, fingers facing in, coming up, pressing the palms or the hands down. Lift the chin, but don't throw the head back. Exhale, come down. Let's do that again. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, folding forwards, reaching the crown of the head forwards rather than down. Inhale, lengthening up, looking forwards. Hands go behind. Exhale, press the front of the feet down, lift the hips and thighs. Look up, but don't throw the head back. Exhale, come down. One more with me if you can. Here we go. Breathing in, looking forwards, lengthening up. Exhale, coming forwards. Inhale with care, coming back up. Hands go behind us. Fingers facing in or out behind the hips, and lift those legs. Push the toes down and look up, arms strong. Exhale. I'm going to do one more. Join me if you can. Stop if you need to. Breathing into lengthen. Exhale, coming forwards, looking down. But we're lengthening forwards here. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, behind, pushing up, looking up, and release. Well done, yogis, and shake out those hands, make some little rotations, particularly if they're feeling a little bit hard. Well done. Okay, we're moving into our last pose now. And this is a beautiful stretch, one of my favorite stretches that I want to do with you. And it's known as our reclining gate pose. So I'm going to show you this from the side. The best thing for me is to bring myself here. I'm going to bend this left leg and bring the sole of the foot and my toes of the left foot as close to my left buttock as I can. So I'm resting in front of the foot there. The right leg is straight in front of me. And then I take that right leg slightly out to the side a little bit. So rather than have the leg straight, take the right leg slightly out to the side. We are going to twist to our left. Right hand comes to the outside of the bent left knee. Left hand goes behind us, forming a tripod to keep the spine tall, but the hand can be flat as well. And we look somewhere over that shoulder for 3 deep breaths. So again, another lovely way to twist and nourish the spine. Just gently looking somewhere over the left shoulder, keeping the spine tall. Good, let's inhale together. Now as we exhale, we come back, we draw the leg in slightly, that's the right leg, and we fold over. Now wherever you can get to, hands holding onto the shin, ankle, perhaps the toes if that's comfortable. Lower the head and hold for 4 breaths. Come up slowly, yogis. Once more, twist to your left, gazing behind you for 2 breaths. Come back, fold over the right leg again. Hands holding onto shin, ankle, or toes if you can. Lengthening forwards, folding down, stretching into the hamstring for another 2 deep breaths. Come up slowly. And this is where we need to take great care to straighten that left leg with care, slowly. Sit back and just shake out the legs. And we'll do the opposite side. What a lovely way to open our hips, our low back, and of course our hamstring as well here. So in order to do the opposite side, I'm going to turn so you can see now. We're going to keep the left leg extended. This is our last pose. We bring the right foot round, sole of the right foot resting on the floor, and aiming to bring the toes of the right foot as close to that right buttock as you comfortably can. Okay, so don't force that movement. Now, we're going to twist to our right. So we take the left hand to the outside of the right bent knee, right arm behind us, and looking somewhere over that right shoulder for 4 deep breaths. It's worth noting here, yogis, bearing in mind this is a mindful practice, but one side as we twist to may of course feel quite different to the other. Aim to look over that right shoulder, but not twisting with, too much urgency yet. Take a little while to breathe and twist gently. You've got 1, maybe 2 more deep breaths here, so take your time, move mindfully with your body. Let's take a breath in together, exhale, and return back to the center. And then we're going to inhale and raise the arms, fold over that left leg now, taking the hands either to the left ankle, the left foot, either side of the leg if you wish, or even holding onto the toes if you can. Imagine your belly button wanting to fold over that left thigh. And hold for 4 breaths, yogis. You're going to come up slowly, go back into the twist on the right, hold for 2 breaths. Come back to center, fold over that left leg again, last time, lengthen forward from the crown of the head again, over the left leg for 2 deep breaths. slowly. And again, just be very careful to stretch that right leg out to the side before you come back up to sitting. Lean back into straight arms and give the legs a little shake out. Just relax them. Well done. If you were able to do any part of that, well done. It was a deep revolved stretch and a lovely twist to end on. We've got a few minutes, so let's lie down, maybe grabbing a cushion underneath the head, maybe putting on another layer. So let's lie down and come into relaxation. We'll finish just a few minutes after 2. So if you've got low back pain, yogis, you might find it nice and restful to bend the knees as I'm doing and have the feet wider apart from the knees, and then actively press the low back into the floor by engaging the tummy muscles and keeping that switched on for the duration of the relaxation. However, if that's too strong, take the legs, or that's just not for you today, and just stretch the legs out about hip width apart, allow the heels to fall out, and then just lift your head, look down the body, make sure you're in a relatively straight line before tucking the chin in, palms facing the ceiling, and relax. Let your breath settle for a moment. Bring your awareness gently to your breathing. Okay, so make sure that you're comfortable and that your breath is beginning now to settle. And firstly, we're going to take the awareness to breathing, inhaling, and just think of the head. As you exhale, think of your chest. So as you inhale, thinking of the head, and as you exhale, take the awareness into the chest. And we'll continue for 1 more minute. Breathing into the head, breathing out into the chest. So those 2 focal points with the breath now. As we inhale, we think of the head, and as we exhale, we direct the awareness into the chest. Just continue this process for 1 more minute. And then we're going to direct the inhalation into the chest, breathing into the chest, and breathing out into the low back and kidney area. So directing the inhale now into the chest, and as you exhale, direct the breath into your low back and kidney area. And as you exhale into the low back and kidney area, taking with that breath any tension, any tightness, dissolving it with each exhalation out of the spine. So now we're inhaling into chest, breathing out into low back and kidney area, and enjoying that process for another minute. And then finally, we're going to breathe into the low back and kidney area. And as we exhale, breathing out through the soles of the feet. So this time, breathing into the low back and the kidney area, and breathing out through the soles of the feet. And again, as you exhale, taking with that exhalation any old, used up, stagnant energy, simply breathing it out through the soles of the feet. And again, enjoy that process for another minute as we breathe into low back and kidney area, and breathing out any tension and tightness out through the soles of the feet. And then, yogis, just noticing the textures of your mind compared to when we started. In this peaceful mind relaxation, now just noticing the textures of your mind compared to when we started. And having moved the energy down and out through the body, and move the energy and all the thoughts out through the body. Let's begin now to move the fingers and toes again, coming back into fingers and toes, giving them a wiggle and stretch. Perhaps moving the wrists and ankles a little bit, and just noticing as we rotate them how they now feel. Untie the knots there. Stretching the arms overhead, bringing the legs together and flexing the toes towards you, push the heels away. And as you stretch, again, just noticing how you feel, comparing that to when we started, just being aware of any physical sensations compared to when we started. And opening the eyes gently back into the room, bend your knees, and just hug your knees into your chest, rock gently, again, just removing any hardness or tightness from our sacrum area, our low back. Take another deep breath here. Let's roll onto one side, come up, and close the practice together. So we had a few extra minutes down there. I hope you enjoyed that session, and I hope now you're feeling more refreshed and revitalized for the rest of the day. Take a deep breath in and gather those energies with me. Bring the hands to the heart center. Do take a moment to wish yourselves well. Om Shanti, peace. Do go well.